Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, a strange land where the sun and the moon went backwards and the stars occasionally moved around unexpectedly, it was, of course, a dark night soon before dawn. A particularly large star started to move around the sky in a whole new way. It danced across the sky, twirling and spinning and pirouetting around, only with much more grace, and sending streamers and sparks behind it as it went. A pair of nervous and excited eyes watched from the ground as the star drew nearer and nearer and nearer. The eyes belonged to an odd-looking creature. It was much like a large hedgehog, but instead of sharp spines, it had long ferns growing from its back. The creature emerged from under the cover of a flowering shrub that it was nestled under, snuffled around on the ground for a while, with its long, furry nose, returned to watching the star, and waited. By now the sparks and streamers issuing from the star were lighting up the land, and although the first silvery glimmers of dawn light were just becoming visible on the horizon, the star and its fireworks shone brightly. So, as the moon finished its backwards journey across the sky and set behind the Supi Mountains, and before the sun had thought about rising above its corner of the horizon, the creature could see vividly the land all around it. I thought something like this might happen, it said to itself. Quite why it thought that, it didn't know, but nonetheless there was the thought in its head. The star was close enough now that the creature could feel the warmth from it, and it continued to dance and spin and twirl and pirouette all the way down, performing a beautiful loop-the-loop in the sky, before coming to rest on the ground with perfect gentle poise. Close up, the star resembled a classic drawing of a star with 5 sparkly points. Streamers and sparks continued to burst from it at unexpected intervals, startling the ferny-spined creature. But it had dimmed enough now that you could look at it safely without the need of sunglasses. Tentatively, the creature approached the star. Perhaps it's time to introduce this creature. Who is this snuffly watcher with ferns growing from its back? Has it got a name? Well, it's very difficult to answer these questions. The creature is very old and its origins are lost way back in the mists of time. As far as anyone knows, it's never really needed a name, being a solitary, although friendly and inquisitive creature. It's not known if it's male or female, or whether such terms even apply to it. Some things have no need for labels, and so it is with the creature. The creature just is. It has no special status, although those that meet it tend to think very highly of it, and feel at ease and comfortable in its presence. And what of these ferns that grow from its back where another creature might have spines? Or a hedgehog might have spines? Well, they're not ferns like we know them. They exist only on the backs of this creature and the very few others like it. They blow in the breeze like ferns do, and they grow like ferns, but imperceptibly slowly. In its world, they have always afforded the creature some mysterious protection from harm, but as this star was not quite of its world, it was with some trepidation that the creature approached it. Not too carefully, not too slowly, but carefully and gently and in quiet fascination. The star had touched down at a large clearing atop a hill, and surrounding that clearing and covering the rest of the hill were some tall, thin trees that reached and stretched skywards, and the dawn light now glimmered through their delicate leaves. The creature was focused on the star now, not with questions, not seeking answers, but just full of the star and the moment and being there. Wanting to remember the moment in all its detail, it looked around, taking in everything it saw. It saw the silhouettes of the tall trees and their delicate leaves. It saw the last few stars fading, visible in the circle of sky just above the clearing. It smelt the crisp, clear air, and it felt the ground beneath its paws, damp in the morning dew. It didn't think of possible futures or alternative pasts, nor wonder what route to take or where its path may go. It just walked forward, with care, but open to the world. Now the sun was rising boldly up over the horizon, and its light was shimmering more brightly through the tall trees and their delicate leaves. Still the star shone brightly, although less dazzling than in the full dark of night, and the streamers and sparks still came from it at unexpected intervals, though less frequently than before. As the creature approached the star, it felt a sudden familiarity with it, as if it had always known it. The star didn't threaten the creature, but welcomed it as a kindred spirit, and somehow the creature understood this. The creature reached the star and was bathed in its powerful yet gentle light. Suddenly, the creature saw the star and all its surroundings with complete clarity. It saw everything, it sensed everything. It saw, of course, the star. It saw the tall trees with their delicate leaves. It saw the grass and the flowers of the clearing floor. It saw the rising sun and the lightening, brightening sky, and all the other creatures and beings living around. Walking forwards, the creature stepped straight on, into the star, entering the star, absorbed by its light. For a moment, seen from the outside, nothing seemed to be happening. Everything was calm. The star was still shining. The tall trees still stretched silently upwards. The sun was rising higher up over the horizon, and the creature was nowhere to be seen. Inside the star, for the creature, everything seemed to be happening at once. It suddenly saw its place in the world, in the universe, in life, not with a sudden sense of purpose or anything so grand, but just a wonderful sense of how everything fitted together, and it fitted within that. It saw the hugeness of space and the physical smallness of its own existence. It was full of wonder and awe and a beautiful sense of peace. In a burst of sparks and light and colour, the creature left the star, emerged from the star, and immediately the star lifted off the ground and once more began to dance and twirl and pirouette around, and again with so much more style and grace than me. It lifted off the ground, it performed its loop-the-loop perfectly in reverse, before dancing off into the sky, finally glowing brightly for a moment in time, before disappearing from view in the clear blue sky. And what became of the creature after all of this? Well, it carried on its life much as before, snuffling around on the ground, stargazing, probably a bit more than before. Its ferny spines continued to blow in any breeze, but it went about its life with such a sense of calm and happy contentment that it spread that feeling amongst all that chanced to cross its path. And I'm sure there are more stories to tell of this creature's onwards journey, and of the other beings and things and events and happenings in this same world, but this story ends here.